Welcome to the Windsurfing podcast. And today I'm joined with nobody. They've stood me up. I'm here waiting and they're not there. So at the moment, you've just got me. Hopefully Graham Ezzy's going to be tuning in pretty soon to talk us through. Obviously, the Fiji Pro is about to kick off tomorrow. I think they're in the evening our time. I don't need to get the thing, but basically in tomorrow it could be the first day of competition. We've got limited information. If you have not been tuning in to Paul Van Bellen's channel on YouTube, you should do. He's doing behind the scenes stuff. I'm thinking of even playing some stuff on here because I'm just watching it. I'm catching up. I'm the fan right now. I'm not at the event. And it's really interesting to be following it from that kind of view. I've got to be honest, I'd much rather be there. It looks like they have been absolutely scoring. But it's live, so you can put in the comments if you've got any questions. Like I said, hopefully Paul is also going to be tuning in from Fiji, but he's just filming at the moment, which has come up a bit late. So, like I said, bear with me. We're going to do the sort of rundown. We're going to hopefully, I'm waiting for the draw. They should have done the draw by now. I wanted to have a look at the draw, count you through it, get excited, see what the matchups are looking like. So, yeah, we will see. But like I say, hopefully we oh, hello. Hang on. We might have someone. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, good. That's cool. That means I got good connection.
That's perfect, actually. You sound crystal, mate. Living the
awesome.
dream over there?
I was up until an hour ago.
Well, what's happened?
I've just experienced my first sailors meeting to do with double eliminations or dingles and all this sort of stuff. It's been interesting.
What did you say? Interesting or heated or what?
It's look, there's no fist flying, but I've discovered it becomes a talking point before contest, doesn't it? Look, I'm neutral. It's hello, Graham. Nice to meet you, mate.
Oh, he's not here. He's stood me up. I was on my own till you joined me.
Oh, sorry. You told me you were on the podcast with Graham. I thought, yeah, sorry.
He's coming.
I'm doing all this from my iPhone, so I'm just looking at tiny pictures at the moment.
No worries. He's coming, hopefully.
Let me find a seat because I'm in Fiji and I'm not exactly in a professional studio or anything. Let me just see if I can...
I'll tell you what, though, the audio is crystal clear. So if you've got...
I'm using my my microphone. Benny, I'm also bummed because I don't know where it is, but I've lost my... the foamy thing that goes over the top.
But that's fine. It's working good.
I know, but I don't know. I just bought the thing, so it'd be cool if I could use it. But
okay, I'm going to ask you a question. You're in Fiji. It's really your first time at being at a Pirate IWT event, I'm guessing, with all the big players there. How is it for you as a content creator, fan, meeting these guys who you've only seen, I guess, through social media and stuff?
Look, that's actually a really good question because, hold on a second. I'm just going to sit down at this table, Benny. Oh, man, is there a lot of background noise?
There's a little bit now, to be fair, but it's not.
Yeah, hold on. Let me
Ricardo.
Sorry, dude. Sorry. Hold on. No, it's not Ricardo. They've gone. Hold on, Benny. I'm going to go find. You know what? I found a banana chair. Beautiful. I'm going to go sit in a banana chair in Fiji and do this live streaming style.
I'm sitting in a caravan in Portugal. Which isn't that bad, to be fair. But compared to you, I think you've definitely got the other one.
All right, let me just turn this. This is so amateurish, isn't it?
I'm going to add Ezzy in as well.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Hey, Graham, nice to meet you, man. We've chatted, but not like this.
Not like this. Have you been getting on the water? It looks amazing.
You see that picture there in front of you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not me. Although it would have. I went for a surf. I went for a surf. I arrived after that swell that you see in the picture. And then, I went out to Namotu left. Have you been to Fiji?
I have not, no.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Benny, that's true. Yeah, it's like, I mean,
I
Cloudbreak
actually
is it's
no, go on,
yeah.
carry on.
Oh no, I was going to say that like Cloudbreak, yeah, it literally is as good as it gets. You know, as far as a wave. I mean, it's a barreling wave, so sometimes it's a bit tricky wave sailing it, but it's just such a sick spot, Fiji. I mean, it's like postcards, isn't it? I mean, you're floating in a lineup with water that you can see through in 20 meters of water, and it's 29 degrees and like in the water, and there's like little islands dotted around with palm trees floating with coconuts and stuff. I mean, it's pretty
It's
magic.
mad, isn't it? I was just going to say, when I was
Yeah.
speaking to the other day, when I went, it was like 97. We had a round the world ticket when I was doing the Olympic stuff with I went there with a Mistral 1 design, and we stayed in Plantation Island, and we sailed up to sail Namotu lefts on a Mistral 1 design. Obviously, it wasn't very big, but it is like that place you see as a kid in the postcards, in the brochures. And like, I always remember being there going, this is ridiculous. So to be there like you are now with all the top windsurfing pros in the world and seeing all that like firsthand, I'm just actually catching up. I'm saying to the audience, I'm just catching up on your YouTube videos. I haven't caught up because I only just woke up. But if you haven't checked out Paul Van Bellen's YouTube channel, he's doing behind the scenes stuff. It's super interesting. I'm finding it really good. I think it's really good. I think it's a really good insight to see the sailors, and they seem very natural. You know what I mean? Then it's not like these interviews you see where it's a bit forced. It's just you chatting to them, and I think it's coming across really well from over here. Anyway, I think it's really good.
Yeah, no, thanks. And if I'll shut up, but basically in a second. But I just want to answer your original question, which I didn't do very well. But this is something I just want to get off my chest before I forget about it. But you asked the question, what was it like for me? And I have to say, so far, it actually has been a bit of a surreal experience, because I've been a fan of windsurfing since I was a kid and grew up in the 90s watching Dunkerbeck and all those guys and whatever. Then I kind of lost touch with it a bit, like in the the 2000s, because I was just working a lot and whatever. Then I've come back into it and sort of become familiar with all the big names, and I've been editing videos with all these guys, not knowing any of them or them knowing me or anything. I mean, I'm just a regular windsurfer like everybody else out there. And like, here I am sitting in a dining room like today, and I look around. There's like the top 25 wave sailors in the world, which for you guys would be like, I mean, there's nothing out of the ordinary. But for me, I'm looking to my right, there's Bjorn Dunkerbeck. I look to my left, there's Brazinho. I look behind me, there's Bernd Roediger. I look over there, there's it's like it's just cool for me as a fan. Like, it's just a weird experience, because I remember I was just thinking, I'm looking at them all going, I've watched you guys in videos 1,000 times. I've edited videos, and here I am. And then, just going to try and talk to them. And it's actually, most of them are really nice guys, and women too. I mean, there's more guys here than women, but they're generally super cool. Like, I mean, okay, there's a few funny little things here and there, but they're just, I don't know, windsurfers are a funny breed. They're just an interesting breed of people, basically. Like, it's, and, yeah, and I think the other thing for me is, you say about these behind the scenes videos. I was a bit nervous, because I thought, I'm rocking up to an event. I've sort of gave myself this job of trying to portray what happens behind the scenes. I don't know anyone, they don't know me, and I'm going to start ripping out a camera and shoving it in their face and go, hey, just act natural in front of a camera and pretend we're best buddies or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's something that you might do after a month or two of hanging out with someone. But I've kind of just thought, all right, stuff it. I'm just throwing myself in the deep end and just go and just rip the camera out as much as I can. And I think I've been here 3 or 4 days, and now people don't really flinch much. They just I just run around with the camera, and it's almost like I've just become part of the furniture or something in a relatively short space of time. So that's made it, like, the interactions a lot more natural and just less forced. And I'm a bit of I like a bit of a laugh, and like, if you make people laugh, then it sort of makes the whole diffuses tensions and stuff. So
Yeah.
no, it's been super, super interesting. So anyway, I just want to get that off my chest, because for me, that's probably been the so far the most notable experience of it
What's
all.
interesting in hearing you explain that, you said at the moment, most of the guys.
Well, you get 40 people in a room, and they're not necessarily all gonna. You're not necessarily gonna. They're all gonna be like, I mean, you're gonna get a range of personalities and stuff. But I just mean like, it's like if you went to like a big surfing event, I dare say you'd probably have a few more. Like windsurfing is a pretty small sport, and it's a bit underground, and people do it because they love it, and they're not necessarily doing it to be seen, and this sort of thing. So they're just generally people that just love the sport, and so it's
yeah. So just changing the subject a little bit, because I've just seen a comment come up, and I think a lot of people are asking this. What is the feeling over there for the forecast for the coming week? How's it looking? What are people thinking? What's the general? I mean, obviously the forecast changes a lot because I've been looking at it, and there is a bit of rain on the forecast. I might just bring it up actually on the screen share. I don't know which forecast you check over in Fiji. Is anyone checking a particular one?
Oh, everyone just checks their own. Okay. I've been checking a forecast called surf-forecast.com, and that seems relatively accurate. But Fiji's like it literally. I'll check the forecast 5 times a day and get 5 different forecasts. Like it just changes an hour by hour.
So there is a bit of rain on this one, but I'm guessing the wind you need is that southeast, is it?
Yeah, southeast is cross off. Okay. South to southwest is ideal swell direction. You don't need much swell. That's one thing I've realized at Cloudbreak. If it says, 1.2 meter swell and 14 seconds, or 12, something like that. In a lot of places, it might not be, anything to get much excited about. But you go out to Cloudbreak, and it could be, well overhead or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not. You don't necessarily need to.
It's a bit like Margaret River in that respect. It's like never up the logo high, Margaret River, as far as I'm concerned. It's always logo, like whatever the bloody forecast. As soon as you get a slight bump. But looking at that forecast, what day is it there? What night? Wednesday night? No.
It's I've completely lost track of days. I'm totally honest. I'd have to look at my phone. I'm not lying. Like I actually, all I know is it's the day before the 1st. So what day is that?
Yeah, it's Wednesday then.
Okay, it's Wednesday. I'm not lying to you. I don't even know what day. Because when you're in Fiji, like it's never talked about. No, seriously, no one's talked about a day here. It's like I don't know. I'm sure they do, but it hasn't been talked about. So
what
weird.
I have learned is you should never tell someone who's got a proper job. Because anyone who's got a proper job hates people who say, I have no clue what day it is. Because if you have a proper job, you know Monday and you know Friday. It's like those, and then a bit in the middle. So anyway, the forecast on that looks like there's some wind coming. Proper wind. 4, 5.
Look, before I got to Fiji, sorry, I'm getting a bit of a bad line here. Hold on.
Wingaroo can be difficult though with the wind. I mean, I know from other places around the world, you kind of have to know the specifics for the region. Like if Maui shows red, it's often rainy and not windy, and you want the green wind for Maui. And if it starts green or yellow, and then once it starts getting into the red, it's normally a sign that it's not going to be windy.
Okay.
For Maui, I have no idea what it's like for Fiji. I mean, here it looks like there's going to be swell, which is, I would say, the most important factor. I mean, the guys can get out in very, very little wind. I mean, we've done wave events in almost no wind. So as long as there's a bit of a breeze, but swell, it should be.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the key thing is the direction as well. Like it looks like it's the right pattern. If southeast like that is there, is cross off. You like you say, you've got swell, 14-second period swell, drips down a bit, and then it comes back in here with another swell, like 12, 11 seconds, 2.5 meters, which will be, as far as I'm concerned, over mast. I'm guessing from what I've heard already.
When does the competition period end?
It's the 1st till the 11th.
To the 11th. Oh, that's a long period. So they should be fine then, I would guess.
But I would guess this window here, this Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, looks on that forecast anyway the most. Is he back? Our roving reporter over in Fiji, Paul Van Bellen.
Hi, can you hear me all right? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, mate. It just, I don't know, just the Wi-Fi, it's pretty temperamental. It just drops out. Anyway, it's working now.
No worries. So what's the feeling on the forecast over there? Any weather boffins telling you anything?
Well, the event supposedly is starting tomorrow. It's about 9 p.m. ish or whatever it is right now. So most people are starting to get ready for bed, and the event's starting tomorrow.
Okay.
But not the live stream, because the live stream will happen on finals day, which is likely to be Sunday, Monday, either or both days.
So explain that, because there's a few people probably don't know. Me, I'm probably one of them as well. There's not live streaming every day. The live stream will only come in for the finals.
Yeah, because this look, I'll be honest, it gets a bit complicated sometimes, and I'm not necessarily the best person to ask, but my best understanding of it is that Simeon, the organizer, has organized with the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation, the FBC. I'm pretty sure that's what he refers it as. And they will set up a, like the whole live stream infrastructure on a boat. And Cloudbreak is. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, sorry. The boat is a 40-minute ride from here. Cloudbreak's in the middle of the ocean. You need a dedicated server. You need people who are manning cameras and mixing desks and whatever you need to get a proper live stream happening. And each day that you get that crew out, well, there's multiple thousands of dollars to make that happen. So you can't just ship them out there 10 days straight and spend $40,000 on a live stream. That, you know what I mean? So it's basically you got to pick your days. And with the budget, they've chosen, just to do the finals, possibly like quarters, semis, and final. Okay. So ideally it'd be great. But having said all that, the other heats, the first heats will should all be recorded and uploaded. So you should still be able to see all those other heats, but just not necessarily live.
Okay. So that's perfect, because I'm going to be asleep anyway when all this is probably happening. I might have to stay up. Oh, so that's good. So everything's getting recorded, and everything in theory will be shown, even if it's in a highlight format.
Yeah, but again, in Fiji, what I've come to sort of understand is I believe everything when I see it, because there's a lot of pieces in this puzzle. There's a lot of pieces in this puzzle to work, because we can say, oh yeah, there's going to be this on the boat, and I'm not going to crash the drone and this, but there's a whole range of pieces here that needs to come together. And you'll get something. I'm sure there'll be something. It's just in what format and to what quality, it remains to be seen. But I can tell you now that everyone is trying to do their best to give the best possible experience. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's a tricky location in a developing country with infrastructure that's not necessarily always super reliable. So
how are the nerves of the riders? I mean, it's a place that we've wanted to go to for a long time. There are a lot of sacrifices that have been made from the rider perspective to go there, in terms of money, the value of the event. A lot of the standards of the event have been sacrificed to go. It's also quite a hardcore spot. What has that done? What does the fleet feel like? Do you feel like people are nervous? Do you feel like they're on edge? Is it something else?
Yeah, no, good question, Graham. Good question. I'd say So the sense I'm getting is that people are here just, generally been enjoying themselves the last few days, going out to the reef, going for a surf. In fact, a few people got a sail in today. There wasn't much wind supposed to happen, and Robbie Swift, who else? Brazinho, a couple of guys got a sail in. And so everyone seems relatively relaxed. But I've just noticed probably in the last 6 hours, now that tomorrow is going to start, that people are, that they're sort of running around a bit and, getting gear all sorted out. And so I guess this relaxed nature has started to turn a little bit more into, okay, here we go, an event starting. And also, as I mentioned at the start of this podcast, I just witnessed what was supposed to be our kind of rider, like start of the event, where the discussion went into what format the heats will be. And like I'm sure you're well aware of it, Graham, being involved in all the events. But for me, this was a new experience, and obviously this, in how the events are run, in what formats, is obviously quite a long-running discussion, which in a place like Cloudbreak, which is very hard to predict how many days you can end up being on the water, is obviously turned into a bit of a discussion, and like that discussion. What's that, sorry?
What is that discussion between a dingle and a single double?
Pretty much. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not up to speed with all the technicality. I mean, I know the basics of it all, but it's, yeah, in a nutshell, yes, like what you just said is essentially it. But then they started getting into other things, which I was a bit beyond me. But look, I think what's happening, but it really depends on the forecast, is that there seems to be just at this point, it's just going to be a single elimination, because, and possibly a double. But the problem for the organisers is that if that double, like that, they'll do the double if it allows, but they're not going to like put a whole other day for it, because to get all the people on the boats out to the reef, it apparently is around $10,000 a day.
The problem is, I can see just from what you explained it there, with the way the media's working, the most normal thing or the best thing to be done is a dingle, because then the winner is the winner. But the problem is, if you have a single and you have finals day and you film it all and it's amazing, but then you get more wind and then you've got to do a double, then you've got to do that finals day twice, but you don't know if you're going to get that second finals day. But then the good thing about single is it happens faster, and a dingle is a bit slower. So I guess they're the things that are being taken in. And I don't think we've ever done a dingle on the PWA. I don't think it's set up in theory for that.
Yeah,
I think it is set up. If you look in the rules, there is a way to do it. So it's up to, I believe, the head judge. But in general, as sailors, we've always wanted single double format, because it's more fair. I mean, the way that I look at it is the dingle is better, where you have greater separation in the ability of the fleet, because then you get the initial heats done and the sort of the middle sorted out, and then you have your top guys who are quite a bit higher level than the rest. But the closer the level is, the more parity there is in the fleet, then the more a single double format is better, because then it really helps work out more places in the middle.
Okay.
What did they decide? Because what I was hoping for is we'd get to see the draw now, and we could almost talk through it and see where everyone's at.
Well, do you want me to try to attempt to get Simeon's attention? You can hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, that would be perfect. That would be perfect.
Well, I have to get off my banana chair now. Hold on.
Okay.
By the poolside. Yeah,
I got that, Graham. Are you getting a bit of FOMO not being there?
Me, yeah, but it wasn't possible right now. But yeah, I would love to be there. I definitely have the FOMO, but
I'm feeling the excitement. I got to be honest. This one feels like
live. Oh, sorry, Simeon. Do you want to? There's a few questions here from a few guys. You want to? Take the.
Is that Ben?
Yeah. How we doing, man?
Hey Ben, how you doing, man?
Yeah, good. I'm getting FOMO sitting here watching all this stuff. I'm feeling the tension, which
We'd love you to be here. We'd love it.
No. So firstly, question, is there a draw up yet, or have you decided on the format? What's going on with that?
Well, there is a draw,
Okay.
and it's inside the Live Heats app, and I could show it to you if you want. The issue around the draw is that everyone's trying to work out, the Wave Committee is trying to sort of, go around and work out how to do the seeding for the draw.
Okay.
And of course, the seeding that everyone has used in the past was based on one tour and one tour's results, and now it's based on two tours' results from last year, plus this year's combined results. And that's about as complicated as it could be.
Yes.
So it's hard to work out what is the right way to do it. There's no right way. There's no the. So it's it's worthy of a discussion.
Yeah. The only problem is, I can imagine with the Sailor Committee, there's people with vested interest in which who they draw. So it almost needs to be an independent person who decides that.
It is indeed. I mean, Robbie Swift forwarded it on to Rich last night before Rich was heading off to bed. And Rich had a look at it and chatted with Robbie about it. And he basically said two things. One, this is never going to be easy, more or less. I'm paraphrasing. I wasn't on the call, but that's the way Robbie describes it. He said, this is never going to be easy. And two, here are the rules that we've had for the PWA. And I mean, it's hard. It's hard to know what to do. I think everyone's in new territory here. I mean, we've got people who are very experienced looking at it, and it's still hard because there's no the answer.
Okay. And when's the sort of deadline to put that draw out, like official? This is it.
Well, I think it would definitely be before we start the first heat. It'd be either 12, 1 or 2 o'clock tomorrow. Before then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's not that long, is it?
I think. Look, I mean, we're in an exceptional circumstance, so we're allowing a bit of more time to talk these things through, and that's the right thing to do. I think we will probably be in a position to publish that draw later tonight after we've had these discussions. I don't think anyone here wants to wake up tomorrow and still be discussing what that draw will be. I think everyone wants to know.
Yeah.
So the pressure of time and the realities of that will force us to just make a decision, and then that'll be that, and it'll be the best decision that we can make with the information.
Yeah. And it's decided what format? Dingle, single, double. It's going single.
Well, we've got a lot of factors coming together. Have you been watching all the streaming? I assume Paul's been streaming this.
Yeah.
The discussion looks like, you've got a range of conditions. If you take a dingle that's often run in places where you have a storm come through and you need to have something fast, of course the single is, gets a result zip and quick, and it's kind of brutal. And you do man on man because it's impossible to judge jumping and riding with four men, or not impossible, but pretty close to impossible. So man on man is the right thing to do. It's the best system, and having a single man on man in difficult conditions that come up in a storm, like so often is around Europe and many places, that's a great idea. And then if you get more conditions, fantastic, let's have a crack at the double. It's an extremely logical thing in terms of trying to work with conditions and realities and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, but those are short heats. They're sort of 12, 13, 14 minutes. I mean, you've called a million of these things, and then you've got man on man, which you can come up against someone brutal, even with a good seeding system. It's not always going to separate all the best people. And so your first round, it's very hard to feel like you're getting a fair shake of the thing if you get unlucky. 100%. So the double is critical, right?
Yeah.
And then, so that system makes perfect sense in those sorts of conditions. Over here, one of the things that's been going around in this discussion, obviously the other options are a single, a dingle, or a double.
Can I just stop you just to explain to people at home? A dingle is like you see in the WSL. So there's different rounds where the winner goes through, maybe jumps a level, and the losers get to fight out against the other losers in a one format. Winner takes, in basically it's one elimination, but there's reportage rounds.
That's exactly right. So in the WSL, in the CT and the men, you've got 36 men, and you've got a first round of 3, and the top 2, top 1 jumps forward, and the other 2 go into a repechage, and then they take a long time to get from 36 down to 32. They do a ton of heats just to eliminate 4 people, But in the process, they're not just eliminating 4 people, they're also seeding everyone, because those results then feed into how the next man-on-man heats or rider-on-rider heats are framed up, because obviously rider-on-rider is super critical. You've got to get seeding right. So they do that because every wave is different and all the skill sets are different. So you might have a seeding that you're coming in with because of your overall result, but of course in the local conditions, those conditions change, so it reseeds everyone. It's a good system if you have time, if you have all the money, all that sort of stuff. That's a dingle or a replicharge system. A single is when you just, in this instance, you've got 32 riders and you've got 8 heats of 4 riders at the start, and a heat of 4 and the top 2 go through. And that improves your odds about, that removes a large amount of the stress around a seeding problem, because if you end up getting 2 particularly good riders in this location in that heat, at least those 2 do go through rather than one of them knocking the other out. And obviously the other 2 riders aren't up to it. They're not up to that standard and they're not going to be the winners. So moving on, there we go. So if you have 4 in a heat and the top 2 go through, you've improved your odds. And then if compared to a double, which has man-on-man, you've improved it by doing 4 and 2 go through. You can then improve it a second time by making the heats longer, because waves need longer heats. I mean, we've all been out in waves and waited for waves, and you need to wait for multiple sets. And if you're going to count 2 waves, you've got to have a length of time that there's a reasonable chance of getting 2 sets. So then you have a longer heat. So instead of 2 14-minute heats, you sort of get a 28-minute heat plus 2, and you get 4 riders and 2 going through. So while a single, if it's compared to a single of short heats and brutal man-on-man in some conditions, it's not the same single when you have a long heat and 4 riders and 2 going through. It's a different beast. And so
and like you say, I can understand, like, you know, a competition like this, we're trying to crown the winner. That's what you want. You want the winner. You know, so whether it's fair for the guy who's finishing in 14th or 18th or whatever it might be, you know, really you're trying to get the winner. But because single, when you're in the middle of the pack, can be brutal. But you're not trying to find the middle guy. You're trying to find the winner. So I know it's been interesting.
It's a classic conversation, and I'm sure you've had it, you know, a million times, and everyone in the sport has had it a lot of times. When it comes down to it, regardless of what our experience is with different conditions, which make a huge impact on how we discuss the competition structure, of course. But the other issue, it really is, there is no sport in the world that's a big media money sport. And if that's our ambition, there is no sport in the world that doesn't have a final and that's it and that's the moment.
Yeah.
Every big sport has that moment. However you get there is like there's a million ways to do it, but you've got to get to a point which is this culmination where fans can engage in the journey of a series of people or one person in particular, and they can engage in that journey. They can get emotionally invested in someone, and they can watch them go through. They can watch them succeed or fail or ultimately get to the ultimate prize. And that's what a fan, aka a human, gets excited about. That's why we watch sport. We watch it to bond over human journeys. That's it.
No, I agreed. Well, I'm looking forward to see who I'm going to bond with.
I'm with you, Ben. Like, in a way, I don't really mind what the thing is. Mostly, I'm just going to see the world's best riders. I'm going to be having a front row seat to watching these guys surf and ride these unbelievable waves, and I'm just looking at it going, wow, this is insane.
I mean, the winner will be the winner. Whatever format you choose, the winner will be the best guy on that day in those conditions. That's it. And that's what we wanted to see. And that's what I know. This is, I can already feel the tension behind this event. It feels super exciting.
Well, we're pretty excited here. Everyone's going nuts. I think the adrenaline levels are running through breakfast, lunch, and dinner and all these lead-up days. People just can't help themselves. And then they went out there today. I don't know if you've seen some of the photos yet, but the guys were out there today. It was supposed to be a big surfing day. Kara Rockman and a bunch of the big Hawaiian surfers are out there, but it turned into a windsurfing day. And it was just, it wasn't amazing, wasn't perfect, but it was, mast and a half, chunk, wild, cloud break.
And
the place has so many moods.
I looked on the forecast, and that's probably one of the lighter wind days. So if you were sailing today, that's a really good sign.
We were surprised that the wind came up today, and as I say, that's we hope that's a good sign for those days ahead that look a little marginal. We're hoping that's a great sign.
Okay. All right, man. Well, cheers. I'll let you get back to it. Looking forward to tuning in and watching the highlights and live when the finals are on. Winner.
Thanks, Ben. Love your work. Really appreciate all the good stuff you're doing for the sport. You're a legend.
No worries. No worries. Like I said, let's get into it. Cheers.
Thanks, mate. I'll pass you over to where's Paul? Here he is.
Are you coming up now?
Yeah. And
Oh
here,
yeah.
that's your camera.
I was going to say, it looked like Paul.
Ben still there?
Get on there, Johnny. Come on, get on here, Paul.
How we doing, boys?
My elbow is crick.
Oh, freaking hell, Johnny.
Thanks.
Just so
You're live. Do not swear.
obviously we're live. Like Antoine Martin, Johnny Price. I haven't seen Johnny Price
I haven't seen you in
for a
years.
fair few years.
Back when you
So-
were a teenager.
Johnny, you were wild card entry into this.
I guess so, yeah.
Come on, actually, I'm going to speak to Antoine Martin because everyone knows he is, but I've got to speak to Johnny because this is quite a funny story. So, Johnny, you're obviously a wild card entry. Last time I saw you, you were windsurfing. Obviously, you're Irish. You've spent some time in Australia, and then somehow on the way back, you got stuck in Fiji, and then I've just seen you haven't left.
You've got a better, you know more about it than me. I don't know. I came here and then I just didn't leave. And then COVID happened and it made it even easier not to leave. So here I am.
Okay. So you're going to take down some big names.
We'll see. I was trying to take them down in the bar tonight, but we've been slacking. So, you know, Tyree style.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Oh, that's quite exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing you sailing, Johnny. You're obviously still sailing.
Yeah, when I can. When I've got gear. Sails and stuff don't last long in Fiji, so the hardest battle is trying to keep some masts and sails for the windy season.
I do believe him.
Yeah,
I've been here for like 5 days, and I'm gonna
was
come
gonna
back later
say,
on my
Antoine,
quiver is already.
Yeah, but the windy season's just got started here about a month ago, and it's been howling. It's been so windy. So it's been really fun, and so far so good with the gear. So yeah, we'll see how it goes in the event.
Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. Antoine, talk me through it. You obviously came last year competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was your first time in Fiji last year.
Yeah. Last year was my first year, and I'm happy to be back because now I feel like okay, I'm kind of used to the condition and. I have this excitement, but I had this first big day earlier this week, which makes me feel better before the contest. Less stressed out.
It looked proper, like size wise.
Oh mate, I mean it was you know the day started like kind of mast high, not too big, and suddenly it started to be like pumping, and we end up having like double mast high waves. We had this magic hour of perfect double mast, glassy waves, and just freight train.
Did you break any gear?
Well, in 5 days, 2 masts, a sail, a boom, an extension, a surfboard or two.
In 5 days.
Yeah.
Imagine a year.
Yeah. How much stuff did you bring? You obviously brought a lot of spares.
I brought 6 masts, 4 sails, and 3 boats.
Okay. And
so,
what's your most common used equipment for you? Maybe just say your weight, because there'll be guys at home don't know how heavy you are, what sort of stuff you're using.
So I'm 75 kilograms. So I use mostly my 4.7 and 83 or 88 liter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty big for you, is it? 83, 88 liter?
So but my boards are super narrow on the tail, so it doesn't feel like a 88. It really feels like a smaller board.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's the production board. I'm using production boards here in Fiji.
Really?
Yeah. That was our main goal with Starboard, is to put a production board that would look very similar to the custom boards, and it worked really well. So yeah, I brought only my production board.
That surprises me, hearing you saying you're bringing production boards. I don't think I've ever seen you using production boards, but interesting. Who's looking good? Who's the people to watch? Come on, I know you're going to be one to watch, but who's looking up for it?
Well, so I haven't seen everyone sailing because some arrived today or the day before, but from what I've seen, Baptiste for me is one of the guy. really would like to see sailing
Baptiste, correct?
Tomorrow. Yeah, Baptiste, he's been on fire. Like he has a new board and it seems really like in tune with his gear. And then I guess Ricardo, anyone that was here last year too, because they have the knowledge of the spot now. Brausigno is going to be one of the guy, and Robbie, Morgan, Bernd. Yeah, Johnny.
What do you say is the main thing to take away from like sailing Cloudbreak? Is there anything in particular? Because I mean, obviously you've sailed there a few times now. I heard before on one of Paul's videos that Ricardo's saying it's more turns and airs. It's not like a trick wave. It's more. Are we going to see any tricks, or is it?
Well, I guess it's all depend on the swell direction, because this wave is unusual. Like any swell does something different, so it's definitely a reef break, so it's very similar, but any days it's sometimes it's more at the point, sometimes it's more at shish kebab, the end of the wave. I think we can see some tricks, maybe not for the first few rounds, but when people gonna get confident, we'll see probably some different moves, but it's definitely possible.
Okay, interesting. Definitely interesting.
But a big one there is where a big one there is, so last year they were sending it on the last section, which often closed out, and so this year where the boat's going to be positioned, I don't think they're going to be sending it on the last section as much, which could be really good to make it exciting, because it means if they're going to do anything big, they got to do it up the reef at the start of the wave, which could be sick.
Okay, but then it's got a lot of consequences, I'm guessing.
Exactly, yeah. So it might encourage consequence.
It's kind of, I've been trying some moves in practice to see if it was possible, and it's a lot of risk. Like, if you fall, you go straight on the reef, you pick up another gear, you lose some time, but also the risk is to break some gear. I mean, it's kind of unusual, because there's people like Coraline Fovo. She went out 7 times on the reef, didn't break anything, and I went out 3 times on the reef and I break everything. And it's not a matter of how strong is your gear. The wave is stronger than any mast, any gear of any brands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really about like how confident you are doing those moves, and the wave direction, the swell direction will be important.
Yeah, the swell direction is important too.
So Johnny, being a local, Johnny, how's that forecast looking? I keep asking everyone, but you're probably the most local we've spoke to. So let us know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some funny things happening with the wind, which is why everyone's a bit confused. It's not usual for this time of year. There's like a funny system that's possibly bringing some north wind next week, but also that can quickly disappear as quick as it arrived. So we'll see. Tomorrow should be really fun. It was pretty funky out there all day, but right before dark it got really good for surfing after everyone kind of left from windsurfing. But it got really fun before dark, so that's a really good sign for tomorrow. So we'll see.
But it's very difficult to predict, because like our swell, the big swell was 2.5 15-second period, and we end up having like double mast high, so it's hard to predict, and it's changing every day. So
this swell, they definitely got the forecast wrong today. It was weird when the swell did come in. It was like very sectiony. It should have been a really clean long period swell, and it wasn't at all. It kind of caught everyone off guard. And then, as I said, the wind for next week doesn't look so good, but there's definitely more swell coming. Sunday and Monday is going to have a good swell, and then there's another good swell next week. So like there's a new swell every 2 or 3 days, which is kind of typical for this time of year. So it just needs the wind to play ball.
You can't sail it with a north wind. You'd be going the wrong way, I'm guessing.
No, you don't want to be a Cloudbreak in the north wind. There's another spot around the corner, but as soon as we get north wind, the weather goes really shit. You get like a lot of rain, and it becomes real stormy. So to get north wind and like nice enough weather to go out in the boat to go to some of the other spots is kind of unusual as well.
Okay.
So I think Northwind, you can pretty much rule out any windsurfing. But we'll see. As I said, that Northwind might disappear as quickly as it can, and it might go good after the Northwind. We'll see.
Okay. Well, we cross the fingers.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
It's kind of a bit jerky.
Any questions?
Any questions, Graham?
What's the vibe like in terms of competitiveness? Is there a lot of camaraderie because of the sacrifices that were made to make this event happen, or is there? Oh, they're gone.
Okay.
Back on live. Can you hear us?
Graham's got a question for you, Anton.
Oh, there's Graham, is he?
Yeah,
Hey.
Graham.
You guys can sit down.
Yeah, I've seen him since the Canaries.
Grab a chair. Grab a chair.
So my question, guys, so there were a lot of sacrifices from the riders to make the event happen. Does that make the feeling a lot closer? Is there a lot more camaraderie than competitiveness compared to usual?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. So the vibe between the riders, are the guys more friendly than usual because of the sacrifices that they made in order for the event to happen? Or is it the normal level of competitiveness that you might feel before any other event?
Well, I think the fact that we're in Fiji, in a nice tropical place, it makes everything smoother because everyone goes out every day surfing or windsurfing. So it definitely calmed the mind, you know?
I think a few people have just arrived as well.
Yeah, so we haven't been yet, you know, fully in on the contest immersion. You know, how do you say? On immersion?
Yeah. There hasn't been much of a contest atmosphere yet, really. I guess it's been more like a holiday vibe for you guys.
Yeah, and I think once the boat's gonna be at cloud break, you know, like the judging boat and everything, all the setup, all the cameras, I think it's gonna make everything be more intense.
Yeah, sounds exciting. Good luck, guys. I hope that the conditions come through.
Have you fixed that top batten yet?
Yeah. Can't hear.
Did you fix the top batten?
Oh yeah. I had the issue with my batten because of course when you get destroyed on a good sized wave, you know, I got destroyed and I broke my batten and
That's all you broke?
Huh?
That's all you broke?
Yeah. Well, before, yeah. And then I changed my batten, but I was so excited to sail, and also we had issue with the boats. They were doing the securities, our main boat with the gear, so I couldn't take another sail because the boat was helping someone in the reef.
Okay.
So that's why you see most of my wave with this broken batten, because I wanted to wait. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. There's a lot of sound. So what I said is that because the boat wasn't here, I wanted to enjoy my session no matter what. So I was like, I couldn't reach the boat and change sails, so I was like, I'd rather stay and enjoy my session because you never know. And the big day, the good session was like for an hour and a half, and then it was slowly going down. So I'm glad I stayed on the spot and enjoy even with a broken batten.
Yeah, man, I've only seen the pictures, and I obviously saw that video from Jace, which looked pretty sick. The still frame from that video looks pretty meaty. It's quite interesting, actually.
The still frame was insane. Like, if you compare this, like, credits to the photographer, that's the most insane shot. If you compare it to the video, like, that's an amazing photo.
Yeah, and what's funny is that we started the session, it wasn't too big, and we were on with the Lycra or on board shorts, but suddenly it got bigger and bigger, and then we realized, holy shit, we're on a double mast high wave and still like not having a jacket or any security, any safety.
Have you got your suit with you? Do you have an inflatable vest or something like this?
Well, I do in Maui. if I go to PIE, but I didn't expect to have such a big swell here. And it's funny because even if it was big, this wave is so perfect that it looks still like, you know, like a normal wave, even though it's a double mast high wave.
Interesting.
But that was definitely like the session of a lifetime, one of the best sessions I've ever had, because you get a rush of adrenaline, but you can still like escape and do like some normal like turns. You don't need to be so radical like PIE, where PIE is like if you don't go for it, you're on the shoulder and you don't do anything. This wave could allow you to actually play around and do other than just one bottom turn or a critical turn. You could do airs and also like nice bottom turns to top turns.
He's just rubbing it in because I missed it.
No, it sounds cool, man. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the comp. Let's see, boys. Good luck.
When are we gonna get you out here, Ben?
One day.
Next year.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
And
but we'll see. I think Ezzy's going to be keen.
Yeah.
We're waiting for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, have a good one.
It's definitely one of the best places, and you guys should come one day. It's you will love it.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Like I said, I'm getting FOMO just watching all the videos. Paul's doing a good job of building up like the behind the scenes stuff. It looks like you boys are on holiday at the moment. I was kind of more jealous of that. Everyone's just going surfing, like, and then I guess it's going to start to get tense from now on in because it's a big thing. You know? It's a World Cup. It's got big points. It's 4 points. It's
No, it's definitely important. It's like it's one of the most important events of the year. But it feels great to be on a place where you also can enjoy being a pro windsurfer. It's not only like win a contest, but being able to come here, travel, experience new things. That's what we're looking for, you know. And I think it's really great to have this event.
Yeah, man. So okay, well, good luck. Go smack it hard. I'm looking forward to watching it. I've got to be honest, as a windsurfer fan. So don't let me down.
We're gonna try to go big or go huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job. Yeah. The only way. You break everything anyway. Yeah. You might as well send it.
But thank you, Ben. Cool to see you, Graham.
Yeah. See you guys.
Yeah. Good to talk to you guys.
We're gonna try to make the best out of it.
Yeah. Good luck, Johnny.
Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, boys.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Go. Okay, I haven't talked to Ben in like 6 years.
Well, you don't need me. Those guys spoke well.
That's perfect. Perfect. I think Graham's got to go in a minute anyway. Like, I wasn't sure how this live was going to go. I wasn't sure how good your connection was going to be.
Hold on. I need to get out of this noise. Sorry, what did you say, Benny?
No, I was just going to say Graham's got to go in a bit, but it's like I wasn't sure how this live stream was going to go, but actually you've got a solid connection. So it makes it much easier. I wasn't sure if we'd be filling in.
Yeah. It's good. Are you leaving now, Graham?
Yeah, I've got to sign off in a minute. But it looks
cool.
exciting. I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow, what comes out of it.
Thanks. And actually, I'm going to give a quick shout out here to Ezzy because I haven't had a lot to do with Graham, but I've been riding Ezzy's for 20 years. I sent an email asking him if he's willing to throw a few sails my way, and he's offered 3 sails. So hats off to you, Graham. And Ezzy, mate, quick plug for you.
There we go. Sponsored rider. Sponsored rider, mate.
I'm a sponsored amateur.
Well, you've been on the brand for long enough. It's like what is it called?
Don't know.
No, I don't know. I think my brain's got smaller over the years. I think I haven't got. Excuse me.
Time to wake up.
Yeah, that's it. Well, boys, there we go. I think what else is, like I said, Greg, if you've got to go, you go, no stress. And I've got really thinking going off all over the place.
All right, I'm gonna sign off. Ben, I'd love to go over some footage from the event once we get some with you.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. I can't wait to see what comes out of this forecast.
Yeah, me
Have
too.
fun, Paul. I hope you can get on the water as well.
Yeah, I actually didn't bring any gear, but I've already had some offers to borrow some gear, so hopefully I'll be able to get out there.
God, who's offered you gear?
Well, yeah, it wasn't Ricardo, but no, it was well, Simeon has, and a few others. Because like there are people here with like, you know, there's a mountain of gear here, and I can scrounge a bit, you know, boom here, a mast there. It's all good.
Cool. All right, have fun.
All right, great. I'll speak to you in a bit anyway.
All right.
See you, Graham.
I feel
Well,
bad
it was
now.
actually Simeon's offered his board. The board was one of the critical things. The other thing is, I mean, Cloudbreak's pretty vicious on gear, but there's some softer waves like that's Nemo 2 left is more playful and less gear braking.
When I was there, I surfed Nemo 2 lefts. That was more my wave, and it's still decent. Like, you're not like Poutalon, but it's still a decent wave. But yeah, that's where I was kind of surfing. But it was a long time ago. That, man, I'm excited now. I just speaking to those guys.
That's cool.
It's interesting. Johnny's in there. That's a full wild card.
Well, it's funny because when you were talking to Simeon, I was just standing off to the side. And I hadn't seen that guy before, and I said, "Oh, are you like what's your name?" He goes, "Johnny." I go, "Oh, okay, cool. Are you where are you from?" He goes, "Oh, I live here." Like I literally just met him just then,
Really?
And then he hasn't been around.
No, I mean he used to do the British tour back in the day. He always used to break loads of kit just in normal waves. So God knows what he's going to do in Fiji.
Oh, okay.
He goes for it. Yeah.
No, he's a classic guy. It's he's been living here for 4 years, he said, and he said, well, I said I'll do a little video about him because he's the first sort of local windsurfer I've met, and I just asked him. I said, "Oh, so you go sailing out here with anyone else?" He goes, "No, I just by myself, maybe one or two other kiters." And I'm thinking, imagine having Cloudbreak as your local break, and you're the only windsurfer. It's pretty nuts.
It's mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad.
Yeah. It's wild, super wild. Crazy. So. Yeah, but no, good on you, Benny, for also helping build up the event too, because it's a bit of a weird one because you want to build it up, but you also don't want to get expectations so high that it's just you can't reach it as well.
I think it's impossible not to have expectations. Like it's like even just like I said, I think your staff, and I think a lot of people who agree with me, like I keep saying it, but as a windsurfing fan watching, I love that behind the scenes, just chatting, going around. You start to feel and you start to get ideas of people and stuff. Like I haven't even caught up on all your videos yet. So, but it's like I said, I was watching a few this morning and it's just interesting. Just normal chat, just talking it through. It feels like you're there, which I think you've done a really good job of like conveying. Like the people watching at home, you end up thinking that you are you're just there and they're talking to you, which is really good. I mean, it's a great skill to have, man.
That's cool, man.
I'm enjoying it.
Thanks a lot, Benny. Yeah, that's been funny too because I've had to pick my battles. You know, like there's 40 odd sailors here with 40 stories, and I have to just basically pick a few every day. Not that I'm doing an amazing job of telling a story, but you know, I just have to go, all right, I'm going to go over to Ricardo and just chat with him while there's 10 other people doing something over there. And you know what I mean? Like, it's like, there's just so much going on and I'm trying to get as much out there, but it's pretty, it's almost a bit overwhelming. And also like I have that much footage on my phone that's just like mounting up. I can't get the edits out fast enough. And then plus I'm trying to go in the reef for a surf and, you know, like there's almost like not enough time in the day. Like I've been super busy.
Yeah, no, but I can imagine because you're having to do all
man.
that. It's mad. It's frigging mad. But again, I think it's going to get even more interesting as soon as you go sailing. You know, as soon as we get some action, as soon as we get some results, as soon as I can only just see it's going to be so hectic for you guys. I don't even know how you're going to keep up.
Oh, yeah, like I'm trying not to think about it too much. The other thing is, and I don't want to. I'm not feeling too much pressure or anything like that. But the live. I mean, a lot of people are counting on seeing footage, obviously, of the event. Like that's what everyone wants, and like and there was supposed to be there's going to be one or two cameras on a boat, maybe a camera on a jet ski if they can get that to link up, maybe a camera in the water remains to be seen, but basically the main cameras were going to be a drone and obviously on a boat, and there was supposed to be two drones, and we'd kind of roughly agreed that I was going to have like 20 meters and under airspace, and the other drone was going to have 20 meters and above, because I was a bit worried that drones flying around all trying to get the same shot, and you don't want to, so. But the other drone operator was the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation, and they were the ones that did it last year, and they didn't fly super close to the wave, so they were kind of more hovering a bit higher. So I thought, oh well, those guys can obviously, they can do that. But we just got word that they crashed their drone the other day. So basically they've got a controller with no drone. So basically now at the moment what do we got here? Hey, oh, that's Brian.
That's the disruptor.
Brian, that's I posted a video of Brian Welsh. She's the architect of the live stream. He's been like working just from dawn to dusk, just trying to get this live stream happening. Anyway, so basically at the moment, I'm the only drone operator. Ricardo's got a drone, but he's sailing, so maybe we can work out that. And Antoine has got his own personal film. I'm making North branded videos, but he's getting paid to make Antoine videos. He's not. You know what I mean? Like that's his job. So basically, okay, yeah. Well, we're working on that, I guess. There's a few guys trying to work it out, but anyway, where I was going with all this was that for me, personally, flying the drone. There's just a little bit of pressure because there's a bit of expectation from. I mean, there's 40 sailors that have flown in all over the world. People out there, people are like hyping up the event, and I'm sort of sitting here thinking, well, a lot of that footage is coming through the drone that I'm flying, and I want to get close to the action. I don't want to crash the drone, because if that drone crashes, that's going to be a major. It's going to be a major downer for the broadcast, basically. So I'll just, I'm going to have to sort of like go that fine line of just not taking like crazy risks, even though I'd like to get super close to some radical action, but like just making sure that I get the footage somehow. But there's no matter, I mean, unless you're flying 10, 15 meters in the air, which kind of ends up looking a little, not always great. You can sort of go mildly safe, but of course there's always things going on. Like, I don't know. The drones are never 100% certain. Yeah. So it's like
you spare really.
Well, I just bought this new, because that was the other thing. I had an older drone. I had a Mavic 2 Zoom, and that thing was starting to malfunction. Like literally, I would be like only like a month ago, I was still making videos or whatever. And I'd fly the thing, and the screen would just go blank on it, and like I'd just be like, I can't take this to Fiji. It's not even reliable. Like the whole thing was, it was about to fall out of the sky, basically. And I basically just decided to buy the latest Mavic 3 Pro, which came out like a week ago, and it's not cheap. No. And I couldn't afford to buy two. I couldn't buy two of them. I mean, I could, but my bank balance, it just wasn't. Didn't make any sense. Like I was just like, no, I'm not buying two of them.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Like Mavic 3, that's a good drone. Don't crash it. From everyone back here, no pressure.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not. It depends. It's just because I've got a bit of a reputation. Like I like trying to get a bit closer to the action as well. Like that's just been a thing that I've tried to do, and obviously I want to do the same thing here. But I'm just probably going to have to somehow, find that balance of getting close enough to make it interesting, but not super close to make it super high risk either. Just to keep it all going. It's interesting. It's and sorry, one other element that for anyone out there who's got a drone and ever ends up filming a windsurf event or anything like that, I made a error in my preparation. I thought I had everything sweet, but you know, I've launched the drone off a boat, and you know, launching is easy enough, but landing the thing on a relatively small craft when you've got 20 knots of wind with a boat that's not anchored, that's drifting around, and you're trying to catch it, you know, like with your bare hands, is easier said than done. Basically, like it's on land, yeah, you're stable and everything, but on a boat, the thing's moving around, and you're literally reaching out with one hand and with your left hand, trying to control the remote control. So that actually for me is the biggest risk right now, is the landing of the thing like that. Just so I'm gonna have to make sure that on the it was that, and also just you know, there's gonna be a boat just full of gear, full of people, stuff everywhere, and I'm gonna somehow have to try and land this drone and do it heat after heat after heat, basically. You know, like that's. Yeah, it's just another thing, like, you know what I mean? Like, if it was on land, it'd be super easy, but like, it's just another element, like, to think about. So so it's all fun and games, basically.
Well, kicking off tomorrow.
Yeah, what's that?
You're not. There's no talk of sailing tomorrow, though, is there? Is that no one's talking about sailing tomorrow? Or maybe.
Yeah. This the event's starting tomorrow.
Okay. So you could go straight into competition tomorrow, in theory.
Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, that's what I just was told. Yeah. I haven't been able to post it, but what was interesting was earlier in the day, you know, you talked about, or I think Graham asked about how the sailors are they, you know, getting a bit more fired up, and it was interesting because you know, we're on a like a mangrove river here, and Ricardo, Brow, I call him Brow now, Brazinho, Robbie Swift, you know, they're pretty experienced, and like they all had 2 sails rigged up, multiple boards, so they've organized a boat, like their own kind of oversized dinghy thing. Each have 2 sails already rigged up, and they piled it all on a boat. So when they get out there, they can just whack a boom on and connect the board, and off they go, rather than getting out there and trying to rig a sail up on a tiny dinghy and probably puncture your sail and just get all in a huff. You know what I mean? So those guys, like they've literally, I filmed it. I haven't put it up yet, but they've already, you know, it's like all their gear is sitting on a boat in the mangroves, all tied down. In the morning, they just have to jump on the boat, and they're out there where everybody else has got all their gear just in board bags, and they're going to have to, you know, so it's just those details, I guess. You know, those guys have thought ahead and just made it a bit easier for themselves.
Yeah, but it obviously costs money.
Yeah.
Money that, you know.
Oh, well, I guess, I mean, they probably had to spend a couple of $100 on the boat, you know, I guess. Like, it's not, But
I guess worth it. If that's the difference between winning and losing for those boys, that's
and you divide it by 3 people, it probably, you know what I mean? Like, it's not.
Yeah. I have a question. I saw Michael Vestra, George Vestra, has entered the competition. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So my buddy George, like I call him George, even though his name's Michael Westro, and George is his middle name. But he's supposedly, I think he's come to go into the Masters. That was my understanding.
He's in
and
both.
He was supposed to arrive. What's that?
He's in both. I saw on the list.
Oh,
he's in the main
okay.
event,
Wow.
And he's going against Donkerbeck in the Masters.
He's going both. Wow. Okay. Look, I had a couple of messages from him, but I haven't really, had a lot going back and forth. But he's supposed to. Yeah, it's a bit tricky. He's actually turning up tomorrow, so I'm not sure how that's going to work for him with all that. I don't think he's got a busy schedule, so he couldn't come earlier, and he probably didn't think that maybe the event wasn't necessarily going to start on the very first day, because up until a week ago the forecasts were looking pretty dicey. You know, like it's only the last couple of days that they thought, okay, we could actually run it tomorrow.
Yeah. But from what I've seen, just watching your videos in the past, like what's the place that you filmed down Giroa? Like,
Yeah.
he's got a beefy hit on him. Like, it's port tack, it's down.
Oh.
I mean, you never know.
Oh, he's really good. Like, he's really he doesn't do like the you know, goiters and all those kind of moves, but like wave riding, he's like super good at it. Like, you know, just carves and like throws heaps of spray off the top and just, you know, like he's just got really good solid skills, and he's just a real powerful sort of a sailor. Like, I mean, I don't know what the other, if he's in the Masters. I mean, look, all due respect to George, he's probably not going to take down Brasinho, but you know, in the Masters, he'll you know, I don't know, like he's got a chance to beat Dunkerbeck and Kai Cacciadori and all those guys, kind of thing. I guess, like, you know, he's good, so
be interesting that.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be awesome to see. Like, it'd be so cool to see him here. It'd be awesome. So yeah. So no, it's been an interesting time so far, Ben. Anyway.
Cool, man. Well, I'll let you get back to it, and I'm going to catch up on the rest of your videos.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, just in case anyone's following it, I'm going to aim to be sort of putting videos up that are around 10 to 20 minutes. They're simple edits, you know. Like today, I made 4 videos, and I was literally sitting on the desk here just trying to get them out, and, you know, amongst everything else going on. There was one video where I put up where it goes for an hour and 20 minutes, where it's basically the meeting, where how the live stream works, and I put that out there only because for anyone who may consider running a windsurfing event in the future and wants to do a live stream, I just thought it's good to share the technical aspects, so at least people have got a blueprint or something like that, you know, rather than just have all this knowledge just disappear into the ether.
Yeah.
So if anyone's wondering why I'm uploading stuff like that, it's to share the knowledge, I guess.
I think it's good, and it also sees how much work is involved in all that sort of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. So a few people,
and also, Sorry,
right.
say, man.
No, I was just having a look at their website to see, someone was asking about the entry list. That was all.
Apparently there was some talk about it, but I'm sorry. I've literally, there's a lot of things going on here, and I've been focused on getting I've literally been glued to my laptop trying to get edits out. So sometimes I'm not always up to speed with everything going on. The other thing is you know, while I'm doing, you know, the drone filming on the boats and all that sort of stuff, it remains to be seen how many behind the scenes videos I can also do that, because I'll be flying drones and not necessarily filming and editing, and so I'll do my best. But
okay, well, we'll be watching.
Cool, Ben. No, thanks again. I'm excited. I think it's an interesting event, and it's I mean, there's a few things lining up, you know, waves, winds. It's it's going to be really interesting what happens.
Okay, all right, dude. Well, I'll let you go. And I'll chat to you, no doubt, before whatever, when there's something interesting happens. Just keep bringing the stuff.
Yeah, cool.
Don't crash your drone.
What's it? I'll try not to.
All right, man.
See, awesome, Benny. See you, mate.
All right, see you, dude. Okay, so there you go, Paul Van Bellen. If you've not been checking out his YouTube channel, I mean, I keep banging on about it, but definitely worth checking out if you're into that behind-the-scenes stuff. He's got interviews with the riders, and it's more just chats, so you do feel like you're there. I've been really liking it. It's been working really well. I just said Bill asking about if there is an entry list published on the IWT website. There's a full entry list with all that. Apologies to Graham Ezzy. We were meant to have a bit of a chat, but I wasn't sure because it was like a backup to see how Paul would get if we'd have any good Wi-Fi signal. Luckily, it did. So we'll have another chat with Ezzy when we talk through the competition. But that's it for now. Like I say, stay tuned. It is kicking off tomorrow, the Fiji Pro. I'm excited. You should be. Join us or join those guys. I don't know. Actually, I shouldn't ask. Where's it going to be streamed? I think on their YouTube channel, but I will definitely double check that and I'll let you know. All right. Until then, we'll see you for the next one.